Okay, I don't even know if Michael J. Fox said this, if I'm honest, but I found it and I thought it was cool. I think it's right not just in the way we teach children, but the way we try to reach children. I have two little boys myself, and they're completely different characters. One's a cool, placid little dude, and one's an aggressive bulldozer. And I think what they interact with is completely different to each other. So if Michael J. Fox said this, fantastic. So this is me, Chief Commercial Officer at Mind Candy, obsessed with the spectrum when I was a kid. And I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey today of Moshi monsters and our move into mobile, where we came from and hopefully where we may be going. So part 1, 99. I actually worked in retail, which kind of, any retailers in the room? Good, okay, it kind of sucks. And I left retail very quickly, mainly because I'm a sports and music obsessive, and you have to work weekends at retail, which I wanted to get away from. So in 1999, I met this guy. This is Al Khan. Al brought the Cabbage Patch Kids to the world, and he looked slightly like one himself. But Al was a fascinating character, and he gave me my first break into brands and entertainment. And these are some of the brands that he was working with. Nintendo. He brought Pokemon out of Japan into other markets. And I was fascinated with this space. And then a little bit later, we worked with Viva Pinata and Microsoft. So Al let me make his tea. And he put me into his accounts department. Those that will get to know me know that numbers are not my strong point. I actually hate numbers. So thankfully he saw that one day marketing, branding, reaching consumers, loyalty, all of these things really speak to what I like to do in a job. And I've been lucky through my career to work with some of the best entertainment brands in the world. However, in 2008, I put this into Google search, and this is a true story. I was getting married, my wife wanted me to get a proper job. So I put this into Google search, and I met this guy. This is Michael Acton Smith. Michael's a pretty engaging character, and I met this company and they had a couple of 100,000 users on a website called Moshi Monsters. And he convinced me that he was going to build $1 billion company, which was a pretty big BHAG. But he also told me that he had a love of Pixar, the Muppets, Walt Disney. And he wanted to build the next entertainment company, but of this digital generation. And this was the selling line for me. Point 10 of Michael's presentation. The internet is about to turn the kids' entertainment industry upside down. I thought this was fascinating. I thought all the big entertainment companies were reaching children through different mediums, but not really digitally, and definitely not from the internet. He told me of a world of Moshi monsters. This deep, vibrant world of animation, of different lands, and what's over the hills, and he really took me into this land that you didn't know what was going to happen around the corner. You didn't know what was underneath this world. It was infinite what the possibilities were. It had hundreds of characters. And more importantly, great, great animation and great art, and deep, deep story. So this is where we started. This is, how many people have heard of Moshi Monsters? How many have adopted a monster? Shame on you all. No. So this is where we started. So essentially you took a journey, you entered this world, and you adopted one of 6 monsters. And immediately, this is fascinating for a child, because you're empowering the children. You're not telling them that this is a TV show or a movie or a character that they should like. You're empowering them. I think all of us as children asked our parents for a cat or a dog, and in most cases our parents said no. So essentially we were giving a pet. You could customize it, you could name it, you could take it into a room. But deep in our DNA is education. So we had a stealth education program where you could do a hall of puzzles. You could learn flags of the world, numeracy, other puzzles in order to get currency to build your world into a deeper, enriched experience. But you weren't alone. You were in this magical world which allowed you to undertake games, build your room, and socialize. This was a key piece for us, and I'll show you a graph in a second. So we allowed children to come onto the internet and socialize with each other in a safe way, which again, nobody had really been approaching it in this way. But this for me was, which caught me. Michael showed me a napkin sketch, and this is framed in our office. And if you come into London, please come and visit us. My details will be up at the end, just shoot me a line. And this is Michael's napkin sketch, with Moshi Monsters in the center of this ecosystem of other elements. And this is why I joined Mind Candy, because I really wanted to be part of the first journey that had taken an online world into other sectors. So I joined Mind Candy. This is the company I joined. There were 17 of us bumbling around an office, really working to each other. You had to build your own desk. It's fantastic. I turned up on day one, having worked for a NASDAQ-listed company. My desk from IKEA boxes was waiting for me. It's fantastic. A raw startup in Battersea. I adopted a monster. This is my monster. He's looking very sad. He's called Glenn the Spur. I'm a big Tottenham supporter. And this was our journey. So I actually joined Michael around February 2009. So I'm going to take all the credit for this hockey stick. Actually, no. What happened is that if you look at this graph, from where we started in January 2008, we were bumbling along and we were gathering friends and family, which was fantastic. But then we hit a tipping point around March 2009, and it was the sociability. One of our own team actually hacked our game, which was a huge lesson for us, and we're constantly hacking our own product now to try and improve it. So we hacked our own game, we put extra monsters into the world, and suddenly the users didn't feel alone. They were part of a huge community, and this is where our hockey stick took off. And then we started to spend money on television and the other media sections. So one of my roles was to connect. So connecting that digital experience into the physical space. So we go back to Michael's drawing. So I just wanted to touch on some of the successes. I'm not going to harp on about these, but in 2011, 2012, and 2013, Moshi Monsters in the UK was actually a bigger brand than Star Wars, which is incredible, actually, considering where we came from and the small startup team that we still had, battling these behemoths of other brands. Today we published over 10 million magazines to our community. And it's interesting, publishing at this time was really struggling. There's publishers in the room, I know. Publishers? Okay, great. So the magazine space, particularly in the UK market, was really suffering because of this digital experience. Our magazine came out and we sold 280,000 copies, which put it as the #1 magazine in the kids space. And it's because we could connect the digital back to print, print back to digital, digital to other products. So this magazine wasn't just a flat magazine, it was actually a living, breathing space from our websites. We've done live events with Sea Life. We launched a music album that got to #4 in the charts. We actually sold more than Madonna that week it was launched, and we upset a global superstar. So we had a character which we no longer have. If you do have one of these, stick it on eBay, it's worth a lot of money. So Lady Gaga didn't really like our Lady Gulu song. So unfortunately the kids loved it, but she did not. And we launched a movie just before Christmas this year, which, again, from humble beginnings right through to launching the movie with Universal Studios. And this is the team now. There's about 200 of us. We have 2 studios, one in London, one in Brighton, and a small office in Union Square in New York. So it's pretty proud from where we've come from to where we are now. The big thing is we've made kids smile. Kids are obsessed. This little girl wrote to us actually because she was unwell and she wanted to come and visit the place that created the brand. And then her parents sent us this picture and we rolled out the red carpet. So I think we're actually putting a character in the game that she's designed now. I dread to think how much money her parents have spent. However, don't stop innovating. Maybe even pivot.
We got pivot! 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 Pivot!
Okay, so this kind of sums up our journey into mobile. In the web space, you control your own destiny. You don't have to rely on other people's platforms. My history comes from movies and television, where a broadcaster or a commissioning editor kind of decides your fate. He decides when your TV show might be on air, when your movie's going to launch, which slot you might get. What the web allowed you to do was just bypass all these people. You controlled your own destiny. And in the mobile space, less so, but I'll touch on that in a second. So, we launched Moshi Monsters in 2008, April 2008. This genius launched the iPhone in 2007, effectively killing our web product before we launched it. Because really that move into mobile and tablet and that touch screen experience is really killing web-based products. And we were talking about this at dinner last night. Anyone that now approaches me saying that they're building something for the web concerns me greatly if they don't have a mobile piece to it as well. Like Netflix and YouTube have really challenged the traditional television. So we go back to Michael. The internet's about to turn the entertainment industry upside down. I'm going to completely, we're being filmed and he'll see this, great. So I'm going to destroy his quote. Digital distribution is turning, and I'm going to go again. I think mobile devices have turned the kids' entertainment industry upside down. Kids can now get apps whenever they want, and they can choose what they want, and they can be harsh. And children are the harshest critics in the world. They will just flick off at the click of a button. There's a number of ways they can now share images of their cats. I love this, across many mediums. And brands can be built to be global entertainment phenomenons from a really humble beginning. What Minecraft's doing at the moment is astonishing and makes me really proud of the next leap into some of this entertainment, not just for children, but for rural communities, building communities, and revenue, of course. So this is our move into mobile. When I joined Michael, he showed me these phone danglers. This is true. We still have 40,000 of these in a warehouse. If anyone would like one, again, please drop me a line. So when I joined Michael, he said, we're doing physical merchandise. And I was like, fantastic. And he showed me a phone dangler. And essentially what this did was it started to flash before your phone rang. It was dreadful. But this was our first baby step into mobile and connecting. And I'll show
Hello everyone, this is Lucien from the mobile team. It's just a little video to show what we've been working on. And these are the choosing the character, introducing the character into your house, just a little quick storyboard. And this is some work we've been doing on the programming team we've been putting together. This is taking Flash assets and using Scaleform, and they've already got tickling. It's like just a temporary background from one of the missions at the moment. And so as you can see, we've got a little bit of interaction, and it's really looking quite nice. But we are thinking about whether we could use 3D characters and use a cel-shaded look. And the cards team have been doing a few tests, and this is their test they've been doing with some Moshlings. And we were really excited by what they've done here.
Okay.
We think these look pretty...
I'm going to cut Mark off because he's got the dullest voice in the world. But that was our stumble into mobile. And it's interesting. We had an incredible studio, incredibly profitable, but the world was changing quicker than we were. I'm just going to share some of the lessons that we've learned very quickly moving into this mobile space. Skills. Skills is different to what we had. The programs we were using, the skill base. So we had to quickly staff up our skill base into different areas. The challenge of those skills are there's always bigger people out there. I'm sure you see it in Berlin and we see it in the US, and we particularly see it in London. Really good developers, there's more gaming, there's more brand, and there's a lot of banks, particularly where we're based in East London, that snap up really good talent. It's crazy busy space, so it's hard to get your voice heard. To develop good content costs a lot of money. It's getting more and more expensive to acquire users. We all know this. I'm preaching to the converted. And it's difficult to monetize children in this space as well. Different to how we did it in the web era. And you have to make a lot of friends. Which I'm pleased some of these people in the audience today. As I said, in the web era we controlled our own destiny. But now you have to have deep relationships with platform owners and platform providers in order to get your voice heard. So we're developing. And every now and then a Flappy Bird comes along and will crush your dreams because it's simple, engaging, and unbelievably addictive. What we do know is we go back to our love of Pixar, Nintendo, and Lego. What we do know is we want to build incredible entertainment for a younger demographic, but that everybody can enjoy. And I think that's what Pixar and Nintendo do so well, is that they build platforms, they build brands, they build games for a younger consumer, usually, that the whole family can enjoy. So we know what our DNA is, and that's the most important thing for us at Mind Candy. And we also know that we can support it. I think what we built, other than other developers, is having a heart. We know digital is always going to be our heart, but building this ecosystem around to support not only ourselves, but also our platform providers. So this, I'm just going to take you very quickly. So we bumbled our way into the mobile space. So we've launched some apps, and now we have some bigger projects that we're launching. So we've just launched Moshi Monsters Village, which is our first, I was saying to one of the guys earlier, it's difficult for a brand like Moshi Monsters to make a baby step because we've come from such a giant space. But we have made a baby step into the mobile space with Moshi Village, and this is live now, and we're very pleased with its progression so far, but it's still got a way to go. We're launching Moshi Rescue shortly. This is a different style of game mechanic that we're looking to actually look at an older age group, because we've realized that actually Moshi appeals to not just children, but to a wider family entertainment. So this will launch shortly. And then we have new projects coming out of the studio. Moshi's been our lifeblood for a long time, but we have some new developments coming through. Secret project. Okay. This is something completely new, and Michael wanted me to share it today. It's still in testing. We have around 1,000 children testing this with us at the moment. A journalist in Kidscreen said, what do apps Minecraft, Tocker Hair Salon, Physical Toys, Rainbow Loom, and Lego have in common? 3 is Scandinavian origin? That's not it. As for their common ability, all 4 products are not only global bestsellers right now, but they also make children the architects of their own play experiences. When we built Moshi Monsters, we built it for safety, community, education, and fun. But that community piece and allowing kids to be the destiny and to create their own play experiences was very, very important to us. How many Brits are in the room? Okay, so I have to explain. So this gentleman's called Tony Hart. Tony Hart, when you were a child in the UK, you sent your artwork to Tony Hart, and he would display you on television in the gallery. And every child in the UK wanted to be featured on television in the gallery. And probably 0.2% ever got their work up there. But everyone tuned in to see if you would be in this gallery. So we want to be able to build a global gallery, a global creative gallery, to allow anybody on the planet, any child on the planet, to put their artwork forward to be featured and to be seen by others. So we're aiming to build a creative community that inspires, entertains, and empowers all the kids in the world. It's a pretty bold statement. So we're making baby steps. So we're building a mobile project which will give the tools for consumers and kids 7 to 12 to be able to create their own experiences, almost an Instagram for kids. They'll be able to draw, they'll be able to put animation together, artwork, and share it to a community. We'll be able to ask them questions. So, of our users, we asked them to draw an angry wizard. And these are just 6 of the examples that came up. And what we've realized during the testing of this product is not only is it engaging, not only do kids love to show off, and love to have tools, and love to be challenged, and love to actually riff on each other's artwork and share, but it's also a powerful tool for a lot of people to reach a demographic that right now is incredibly difficult to reach. Even at MyCandy, we use everybody else's platforms right now to reach our demographic and our community. We're actually aiming to build a platform that we can reach for you as well. So whether it be celebrities, we have Harry Styles here with his own channel that he can reach our community, or whether it comes into animation or even micro games that are coming through. So just hosting snack and creative tools for this younger demographic. And this is how our Moshi channel could look. So if you have any ideas or you're interested or want to know, please email secretproject@mycandy.com. And if you want to come on board as a tester, or you just want to come on board as an early ambassador, please come and just drop us a line, and we'd love to hear ideas or have you on board. 2 final slides. One, if anyone would like a job, we're always hiring, so please come in. And thank you very much. This is me.